You have in your packet this making a CQC paragraph, and this is your step-by-step instructions on how to create this CQC paragraph, which we will also embed into our essays. And I just wanted to go over these with you. I know there's a lot of information here, so I wanted to break it down. On the back of that paper, I want to remind you that there is a CQC example that's written out, and these are kind of my expectations for you when you are writing your CQCs. And so they're typically a response to an article or a novel or a short story that we are reading. It involves, which we've gone over, the claim, and then the quote is highlighted in blue, and then the last portion is your comment. And so make sure you read over this. It gives you a great idea of how to word things, how to transition from one thing into the next. Notice in this first sentence, the second sentence here, I've mentioned the author and the title of the article. So this is just a great example that walks you through how to achieve the appropriate layout of a CQC. So to head back to this paper, you're going to want to start off with a topic sentence, and this is a general broad statement about the topic. So if we're doing the one about climate change, I would just give an example like climate change has been a debatable issue recently as outstanding weather occurrences have been happening on a global scale. So it's just a broad statement that does not give my argument away yet. Now, this is kind of dated, but this gives you an example for each little section of some kind of wording you can use for your CQC. This was an old article based on the Colin Kaepernick kneeling situation. So you can use this as kind of an example. So that's the first sentence. The second sentence is your claim. That's when you are going to mention the author and the title of the piece. So in my case, for the example, it's Susan Smith who wrote the article. And then the article title is here. And right here is pretty much just a summary of the article. Then I'm going to zoom in on a more specific point that the article makes that kind of leads me into my quote. So remember, a quote can be any sentence in the article. It does not have to have quotation marks around it. And we've been practicing all of the different ways you can cite a source. So here's just some reminders for that. And you're going to want to introduce the quote. And you're going to want to pick a quote that you can talk about and share your ideas on. Then we transition into the comment section, which is the most important part. So you want to make sure you explain and analyze the quote, have a little bit of breakdown there, adding in your opinion. What are some things that you believe without saying you, me, my, or we, just replacing those with nouns. So kind of be aware of that. And then you start to just kind of comment on the article overall and the topic in general. You can tie in some other ideas that the author mentioned in his or her piece, and but more importantly, make sure you're adding your opinion. And these are just some ways that you can bring some closure at the end of your piece here. And the final sentence I always think is a great way to sort of call to action, like tell people, where do we go from here? What should we learn from this situation? How do we move forward now knowing what we know? So it's a good balance of summarizing what the article is about, but also making sure you're adding in your beliefs based on a really great quote that you chose from the article. And that is how you organize your CQC.